Alright, what's going on guys? Brandon Hayden here. Hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to be doing a reaction video to two videos that have been made about me over the past week, couple days, pertaining to my supplement use, my stack, and me implementing insulin into my cycle. This hasn't been something I've implemented yet. It is a discussion between myself and my coach. We are still running the most recent stack that I spoke about in a video about 3 weeks ago. So nothing has really changed. We haven't upped any doses. Food is still consistent, but Doucette and Trigili, who runs a YouTube channel called Bodybuilding and Bullshit, have been giving their opinions on me potentially introducing insulin to my stack. It's kind of a given that two experienced guys in the industries, two bodybuilders that have been doing this for a very long time, to have a very strong opinion on this topic, considering they are both so experienced. They both have so much more knowledge than me in the realm of PD, so it is obvious to me that they would definitely have something to say. That's not to say that I necessarily agree with what they're saying and whether they understand where I'm coming from with this, why I may have potentially decided to start implementing this, and why someone who's as experienced as my coach Callum, whose main priority while I'm doing everything right now is to keep me as healthy as possible, would decide to do something like this. Before we do get into the reaction, I do want to actually apologize for my lack of upload frequency on YouTube. I feel like this is the very first time on an off season where I've actually just shifted my focus, and my main priority has been the off season, staying on track with meals, staying on track with sleep, making sure every session is as it's meant to be, so I can actually bring a physique to the stage next year that is so much different to the physique I brought to the stage this year. YouTube, Instagram, social media, that was what I did before wanting to compete. When I was 13 years old, I was literally obsessed with just documenting my life, recording, messing around with friends at school. Then when I was 16, I joined the gym. 18 years old, made a transformation and started my, social media journey, and started posting things on Instagram, making YouTube videos. And then with those two passions of mine intertwining together, it created what is this channel right now, and my love for competing and wanting to document the whole process. Documenting the process is exactly what has given me the life I have right now. Not competing, me doing shows and everything, competing, it doesn't give me any sponsorships, any revenue, any better quality of life, any more ability to travel the world while I'm young, while I'm, in this lucky position to experience these things and not have too many responsibilities other than the YouTube channel, other than the business I run, Hardbody. But these are all self-inflicted things that I've created. These aren't necessarily responsibilities like kids, things that I can't control. These are all self-inflicted things that I have made myself this busy for a reason, because it's my personal choice, which is why it's really strange to me that this thing that I've loved for so long has taken a bit of a backseat while I've applied more of myself to this off season than documenting it for the first time, which is a strange thing for me, because it's always been the flip side. But for the first time, I understand that if I actually want to be someone in this industry and compete on a big stage one day, it was a necessary step. So I hope you understand. I'm really sorry I haven't been as consistent, and I hope that this time next year I'm able to sit here with a pro card and tell you it was all worth it, and hopefully it will all make sense. So now we're gonna react to Greg's video first. It is the Brandon Harding, is he dumber than last time? So.
Coach Greg and Brandon Harding recently made a video saying he's now going to be using insulin. He's going to be taking insulin before and after his training, and that this is the new magic thing that's going to be used to build muscle. But is it really that effective? And is he going to be doing so correctly? And are his expectations within reason? Well, I'm going to start by saying not even close. This is redonkulous.
I feel like the way Greg just explained that was that I believe that insulin is the secret and what will turn me from what I am now into what I really want to be. And I don't obviously believe that. I've taken a vast array of different things, not a massive amount of things, pretty much just the basics like test, trend, primo, masteron, all the sort of stuff that you take on a prep. I haven't dove into so many injectables and so many orals that people would take to gain mass on the off season, but I'm not all about blowing up like a balloon. Like, I have been doing things relatively slow. You see what it looks like when a bodybuilder takes a bunch of stuff very young and they're on a bodybuilding stage, like an open bodybuilding stage at the age of like 24. You think it's amazing, but at the same time, you kind of feel bad for them because you're like, what must have they taken to get there? And that's not really the way I've wanted to proceed with my journey. I'm very understanding that doing it slowly is the better way. So no, Greg, I do not think that insulin is the secret thing or will, you know, be just like magic.
Brandon is being honest and just telling people what he is doing. He doesn't want other people to do and copy what he's saying. Insulin is one of the most dangerous substances you could take in all of bodybuilding. You can quite literally die from one small mistake.
That is very true. Insulin is the one substance, like if you were to just like measure out your test wrong, let's just say you accidentally took double or triple your amount, you're gonna probably feel like shit, but you may not even notice it that much. Like internally, your body may suffer because your blood levels will spike exponentially. But if you were to make a mistake with insulin and you were to quite easily overdose, because the amount of insulin that you take relative to testosterone is a very, very, very big amount. Like you'll take a tiny amount of insulin relative to your testosterone. If I were to take a whole meal of insulin, I would probably die. That's how accurate you have to be with this thing because it can be very dangerous. Insulin, if used properly in bodybuilding, or in short, you can just get absolutely freaking massive. Okay, when I said that, it was a joke. I wasn't just like, yo, when you take a bunch of insulin, you can just get absolutely massive. Like I wasn't actually being serious by that. Like yeah, you can pack on some size and it will help you progress in the off season. It will help you partition your nutrients. Like insulin can just help with that, but no, it doesn't just get you massive.
Well, yeah, you can get massive and pack on a bunch of weight. If it's coupled with a calorie surplus and you're bulking, yeah, you can gain a bunch of fat.
Which I am bulking, and I am in a calorie surplus, and I would say that my diet is pretty good and my cardiovascular activity and my daily expenditure is quite high, so I don't really think I'm at the risk of getting fat. My scale weight may potentially increase, but I'm not just gonna get fat if I do this.
If it was really that good, wouldn't all of us be using it? Wouldn't all bodybuilders be taking insulin if it was that great?
The thing is, like, a lot of bodybuilders actually do use this, but how many bodybuilders compared to how many bodybuilders there are in the world are actually open and honest about what they take? Insulin is used in bodybuilding so much more than people realize. Not that it should be used. I'm not promoting the use of any of this stuff because it is something that shouldn't be taken lightly. Like, it can severely damage your health and it has to be something you truly want, and the side effects have to be worth it for you. Some people use it on the off season, some people use it on prep, some people even use it when they're 3, 2, and 1 day out from a show when they are carb loading, because they're essentially trying to put all these carbs and the nutrients into the muscle to make them rounder pre and post workout for their final pump up sessions. So when they take a diuretic the night before show, they're full and shredded at the same time. This is a very frequently used thing in bodybuilding if you know how to do it.
Think of it, it's cheap, you can buy it over the counter, it could kill you.
Greg's house is like a farm. It's funny because we're at Geordie's mom's place now, and Geordie's mom looks after dogs, and I would argue that this place is kind of like a farm as well. We don't have pigs, but we have a lot of dogs.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is going on?
Why is he entering these dark ages if he's an amateur classic physique competitor? Amateur classic physique competitor, I have to use insulin. Let's say it really did work that well. Let's say it's that effective. Why is he not using it after he turns pro? If you can't turn pro without insulin, do you really think you're going to be an amazing IFBB pro?
Greg made a very valid point there. Like, if you can't turn pro without like overdoing it, without taking insulin, without taking way too many supplements, are you going to be a good pro? And that's a very important point, because if you're someone that has terrible genetics and you think that all the drugs in the world are going to get you where you want to be, if you can't get a pro card, not even win a pro card, like if you can't even win an amateur show to get you the opportunity to get a pro card while abusing high levels of anabolics, is it really that worth it? That would be like saying to someone, bro, you have shit genetics, just don't go to the gym. That's where I can't agree with what he just said, because that is disheartening everyone that doesn't have the most premium genetics in the world, because I don't believe that I have the best genetics in the world. I do have good genetics, but they're not like Chris Bumstead genetics. They're not like Keon genetics. They are just above average genetics to achieve a good placing if I work my bloody ass off. So no, I don't believe that you should hold back on the things that are gonna help you achieve your dream. If your dream is to achieve a pro card, is to go to the Olympia, all these things. I don't plan like Greg, like Nick, aren't taking PEDs and being a bodybuilder past the age of 30. Right now, I'm 24 years old. I don't want to be someone that's 30, 31, 32, still taking a bunch of drugs, intoxicating my body with all these things when I'm older, when my body is less able to heal itself and reproduce cells, reproduce new tissue. Obviously, if I damage my body now, it's going to heal faster than if I take the same amount of things when I'm 40 years old, because I'm going to permanently damage myself. Like, I'm going to give this goal everything I have until I'm about 30 years old, which means from the age of 18 to 30, 12 years of my life will be dedicated to this one thing. But there is more to life than just one thing. If life throws you a curveball and you can't do the one thing that you love so much because of some unfortunate circumstance that happens in your life, there is always something else, and there could also be something better.
I remember one day I walked into the gym, 3 teenagers, probably 15, 16 years of age, talking to each other saying, we're gonna get jacked. We're gonna eat a bunch of chocolate bars and take insulin and go work out. We're gonna get huge. That is what they think. These kind of kids watch a video like this from Brandon Harding and they will quite literally start using insulin.
And I hope these videos do convince you not to do it, but at the same time, Greg Doucette and myself, we're not making videos thinking that we are convincing individuals that aren't intelligent enough to think for themselves and make their own decisions and weigh out, actually, Brandon's taking this, he's a lot older than me, he's a lot more experienced, and I'm 15 years old. Should I probably do the same thing? Yes, I should. If you're not smart enough to realize this yourself, then you probably shouldn't be watching these kind of videos, because you're not mentally developed enough to be able to have this information, because knowledge is power, and when you have power, you can do things that could potentially damage you or the people around you, and you aren't responsible enough to know this knowledge.
Brandon just recently set a PR of 7 plates a side. His best was 6.5. My personal opinion, it's better to make smaller jumps, set smaller PRs rather than huge jumps, huge PRs, 7 plates rather than 6.5. That's huge. So now Brandon's goal is 8 plates. It never ends. That's why I keep saying halfway there. Remember that dream physique that you wanted to have? Rather than going for that, go halfway there. If you try to reach for the stars and you land on the moon, oh, it's still great, you landed on the moon. No, you're highly disappointed because you're aiming for the stars. The moon sucks. I want to go to the friggin' stars. Set realistic goals and be happy with the process of getting to those goals.
I've never been one to agree with this kind of thing, and I'm not now. I don't think people should set realistic goals just to avoid potential disappointment. Like, I believe that people should set unrealistic goals and shoot for the stars, as Greg just said. So when you actually achieve them, you feel a sensation that you never ever thought you would feel. And I think that is so much more worth it than setting small goals, minuscule tasks, and getting small wins. Yes, that's great. You can do that in your day-to-day life. You can literally jot down 10 notes in the day, complete the whole note section, achieve something in that day. But if your biggest goal is just kind of like halfway there, as Greg just said, I don't agree with that. I don't believe that your dream physique should be halfway there, potentially avoiding disappointment, because it's disappointment that makes someone who they are. It's failing that makes you stronger. It's losing, it's making mistakes that turn you into someone that is so relentless that when you achieve that unrealistic goal, you have developed yourself so much as a person, and you can make anything and you can do anything you want because you learn how to, from the mistakes, you learn how to avoid the mistakes, and then you got the privilege of knowing what it feels like to achieve that unrealistic thing, and you can sit there and be proud of the journey you just went on, not by setting whatever goals. For me, that is just like not the mentality to have, but you know, everyone's got a different mentality.
The dark side of bodybuilding. This is why bodybuilders are dying. This is why bodybuilding isn't healthy. Using things like insulin. To me, using insulin is like using cocaine. I
do want to say that I'm very appreciative of Greg making these videos, you know, because I know that the foundation of why he's making these videos is to literally just like make sure that I'm healthy, make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Like, he's messaged me in private a bunch of times. The amount of advice he would just give me as if I was his client, and I could tell that he cared. Like, it is very clear, like Greg literally just wants the best for me, and I do appreciate him making this video. He's very experienced, and he actually said in the video, he's actually tried insulin before. I don't want to say like he's kind of hypocritical by like saying to not do it and to never do it and stay away from it, because it is something he experimented with before. Because him, like myself, have dreams, and you want to experiment, try different things, see what's going to work. He's lived in my shoes before, and I am just learning and stepping in those shoes myself. So now we're going to go on to Nick Trigili's video. This is called Terrible Idea to Use Insulin Brandon Harding.
I'm gonna keep this video short and sweet. Brandon put this video out, which was very confusing to me because he just got done putting a video out saying that he's taking his offseason slow. He's not implementing a lot of PEDs. I got a lot of flack and pushback for criticizing his 200 milligrams of PEDs that he's on, supposedly.
It's funny that he still says supposedly, because Nick actually made a video a couple of weeks before this saying that I was lying about my stack, that I actually took more than I said I take. And the fact that Nick called me out for like lying, I actually went ahead and sent him a message on Instagram, which was a screenshot of my coaching plan with Callum of my exact stack that I take, in hopes that he would read that and be like, oh, you know what? I was wrong. I mean, I know he just made the video for a video to make, and I know he just made it for views. To call someone a liar to just get views, I wasn't really cool with that. So I was obviously gonna send him a message to be like, bro, I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
This was 2 weeks ago where he said it'd be crazy to start out at high doses. Yet 2 weeks now later, he wants to start with insulin. Why start at 2 milligrams of test if you're planning on throwing insulin in 2 weeks later?
This isn't true. Like, I made this video about 4 weeks ago and I still haven't started insulin. My decision to take insulin wasn't just made recently. This was something me and Callum spoke about at the beginning when I was getting my blood work done, before we even started taking the off-season stack. And it's not something that will be implemented just yet. From my first stack video, it will not be 2 weeks. It will probably be more like 2 months, not just like 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. This isn't just like, can't make my mind up. Like, we have a plan, we know what we're doing, we have tools to use, or tools we may save for later, but can still use, but just not yet. Like, there are so many options, and which I don't really know how else to say it. Like, we're trying to do this in the safest way possible. Like, it's my intention to be healthy, and it's my coach's intention to keep me safe. Like, we're not just being stupid, we're trying to do this good. There's this persona right now from these videos that like, I don't care about my health and that I'm putting myself at risk for like little reward. My health is literally my biggest priority.
So if I had to guess, he's probably implementing Humalog, since it's a fast-acting insulin and it's in and out of your system very fast within 30 minutes or so. Now, from my experience, yes, insulin can pack on a lot of muscle. It does make you strong because it's an extremely anabolic compound to use, but yet it is very risky to use if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to measure it.
It's a bit of controversy there. Two very experienced guys. Greg Doucette says insulin doesn't really work that well. And then Nick is like, yes, you will get big, you will get strong, it's extremely anabolic, and it will work. So two massively different opinions. You see the controversy? There is always someone that thinks they know something more than the other person. Like, always, always, always.
He's still very young and he has nothing but time in order to pack on muscle. And granted, he's only doing classic physique. I don't know why he thinks he needs to use insulin in order to put on enough muscle tissue to compete in classic physique. I mean, honestly, anabolics, testosterone, growth hormone is plenty of compounds to use in order to put on muscle tissue.
I do agree. Like, everything I'm on right now, like, I could just take the things I'm taking at a low dose, a higher dose, and I would still progress. That is very obvious, but this isn't something I necessarily have to do. And that is something I want to preface, is that in the decision to take this thing or not take it, I'm very aware that it is not necessary and you don't need to do it. It's a personal choice.
I would use it for 3-4 weeks and come off of it for, 4 to 6 to 8 weeks at a time. It has its purposes for growing. It has its purposes for prep. Obviously, different types of insulin.
Which I said at the beginning of this video, it has its purposes for growing. It has its purposes for prep. Nick has used it. Greg has used it. So many bodybuilders in the world have used it. It's not just this crazy thing that I myself have decided to do that no one else has ever done. I am just one of the only people that is actually open enough to tell people that I'm gonna make a decision like this, because people don't tell people. It's not the safest thing to do, so people would judge people that take it. I've just always been open and I've always been honest, and I just hope you guys, I hope you guys just realize that I'm just being honest. And there's been a lot of videos made on YouTube. There's been a lot of judgment and stuff. There's been a lot of like, Brandon's stupid, Brandon's this, Brandon's that. And like, I ask for it because I make the videos. I could easily do these things and not tell everyone. I'm not gonna change the way I am. And I'm not gonna change the fundamental foundation of me being on YouTube and me being, how do I say this? When people make YouTube videos and it's just all for the camera, it's just full of shit, it's almost acting in a way. When they look back on their life, when they're old and decrepit, and they have this store of memories, this, YouTube channel, if they can look back on that and say, well, that was that acting experience and that was kind of a lie and that was a prank and that wasn't true, that's sad as fuck. I never want to do that. I want to look back on my channel when I'm 50, 60, and know that everything I said was the truth and everything I did was honest and the experiences I had were real, not just fake for YouTube, you know? So
I'm just confused overall to why Brandon wants to use this now when he just said in his last video about his cycle that they want to take things slow.
And that's kind of the foundation of Nick's video. He is just confused as to why I said one thing and then 2 weeks later I said another thing, but I've just kind of disclosed the fact that that's not the case. He actually sent me a message on Instagram replying to that screenshot that I sent him of my real stack. I'm not a hater, Brandon. I respect your hustle and how smart you are. I'm a fan, not a hater at all. I wish you nothing but success. I'm just making content and talking about you because I know it's relevant. You're doing everything right. It's not personal. I hope you understand that. And that's really all I need to know. He's making these videos because it is something to talk about, but the reason the actual video was made is to hopefully try and give me some advice and steer me in the right direction. I've actually wanted to react to these videos for a little bit of time now, but considering the focus shift, like I explained in the beginning of the video, I kind of just wanted to sit on them, let it marinate. When loads of people just like make videos and talk a bunch of shit and like say things, it's very easy to just give like an unfiltered response that's uneducated and not really thought out and just like lash out and say things. In my hopes to grow and be a mature adult and all these things, I want to take a second before I talk and really think about what I'm saying. And I hope this video portrayed that, and I hope that you truly understand that I am fully aware of the decision that I'm making, and I'm trying to do it in the safest way possible. 2 things before I end the video, just need a knife. One thing is to open this package from Pride Foods. The guy that owns Pride Food is actually kind enough to send me a big package because I don't know if you remember on prep, one of the things that I like raved about so much was this thing right here, which is rice and grinds. If you live in Canada or America, you can probably get this quite easily. If you live in the UK, probably not so easy. Cream of rice, cream of wheat. It's basically just like a better and tastier version of that. They sent a freaking massive box. Oh, because they have like the new flavors. I think I can talk about it. If not, I'm gonna get in trouble. Aww.
It's a taco.
Everything's going well with Hardbody. Things seem to be really kicking off. Such a nice guy. Taco. Like, you know how you'd have like rice, like some sort of meat? Now you can have, oh, I'm gonna try this today. Taco rice and grinds. This is pretty sick.
Chicken guacamole.
His and hers. We have every flavor. Coconut cream pie, brown sugar and cinnamon. Oh, blueberry muffin. On prep, when this was in the microwave cooking, you could just fucking, because you're so starving, you're so hungry. Even now, oh, chocolate brownie.
Oh, that's mine.
Strawberry banana. Never tried that one. This is insane. Massive shout out to Pride Foods. This is the company that owns Rice and Grinds. Pride Foods, check them out on Instagram. They'll be linked down below. And there's just one more thing I want to show you. Christmas has come late this year because the bodybuilding belts are dropping on the 29th, as you know. If you follow the Hardbody Instagram, you'll be keeping up to date with when these are dropping. And now the final color has arrived in Canada for me to be able to do the product shots to the website, but I want to show you the final color. 3 colors in 3 sizes. In the last video, you saw the black one. This is Obsidian. You also saw the gray one, which is Cloud. And finally, which could be my personal favorite color, which is this absolute beauty, which is Iris Purple. They're taking a long time to work on. Again, referencing back to prep, I got the first sample of these. I was 1 day out from the first show of the season in June, and now we're finally in December and they are almost live on the 29th. So we still have a lot of food to eat today and we still have a session to get done. I'm also taking some pictures of the belts with some people in the gym as well. So we got loads to do, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, turn on post notifications, because 1, it really helps the channel grow, and 2, you'll never miss a future video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.